Before moving to university, I lived in a somewhat small village only half an hour away from Hull, so moving here wasn't that much of a culture shock. But I think it's fair to say that sometimes Hull's grimness and the busyness of living in the city can be overwhelming. Because of COVID, I haven't really been able to go into the countryside much, but since lockdown rules are disappearing, I thought I would take advantage of that and go somewhere I haven't been since I was around 10 years old, Dalby Forest. The last time I was at Dalby Forest was when we were on a school trip in year 5. I honestly can't remember why we came here, but I do remember getting shouted at a lot for messing around and just acting daft.
I have a slight issue, which is that I'm in the middle of nowhere and I have no service on my phone and I'm lost. Where the hell am I? When I did finally get some signal on my phone, Google Maps had a tendency of trying to send me into local farmhouses. I'm not sure why, but it really wasn't the right way.
Oh, that's a farm! Why I can't go in there, that's someone's house! Why does it want me to go in there?
After driving around lost in Yorkshire for about an hour, it was nice to finally arrive at Dalby Forest, except that I did have to pay parking.
£9? Kept that quiet on the website, didn't they? Jeez. No takeaway for me tonight. I've been walking for about 5 minutes, and I remember this path from when I was a kid, standing probably on this edge, asking my teacher what it would be like if I could go down there in a go-kart, and getting in trouble for that. I think there's some footage of that. I should probably try and find that footage from school. For the record, I would like to point out that I'm not as bold as I apparently appear to be on camera. I'm not sure what's going on, but let's just move on and pretend we didn't see it. Before lockdown, my social life was a little different to how it is now. I was working almost every night at a different nightclub taking photos for the venue. When clubs shut down, I couldn't go to work anymore. I tried to keep up my photography, but after 12 months there's only so many times I can take pictures of my back garden. I thought that whilst I was out there, it would be good to get back into the habit and relearn the skills of using my camera once again. Taking photos of rocks and flowers isn't really the same as taking photos of drunk students singing along to Dex's Midnight Runners, but it'll do for now. Just over my shoulder, some of the rocks are starting to become a bit more clear. They're a lot bigger than what I remember. Obviously probably about half the height I am now. I don't remember them flipping it, they're massive! I can see them from here. A few days before I headed out to Dalby Forest, I thought it would be a good idea to explain the equipment that I would be taking with me. This lens is what's called a standard kit lens. It's an 18 to 55mm lens that came with the camera when I bought it about 5 years ago. It's pretty basic and it just does what I need it to do. Next we have the 55 to 200mm. A lot of the footage you're seeing now is actually filmed with that very lens, apart from the bit you're seeing now, because I couldn't film a lens with the lens that I needed to film the lens with. This next one is a 55 prime lens. I could be making that up, I generally have no idea. I bought this lens by accident, and I'm quite intrigued to find out what I can use it for, so maybe I can use it later today. Another reason I wanted to come out here was that my grandma, Betty, recently passed away. My granddad George had died around 5 years ago, so it's been a bit of a tough time going through their house and sorting through all their belongings. Coming out here into the fresh air was a perfect way to clear my mind and find some time to spend by myself, reflecting and thinking over the last couple of months. I did think about setting off one of those sky lanterns as sort of a symbolic imagery to remember them both by, but then I read up on it, and apparently you're not meant to do that because they just fall to the ground and they pollute the environment. And knowing my luck, I'd probably set fire to a tree by accident. So anyway, I think I'll just dedicate this film to them instead, because I think they would prefer that. Dead end. Gotta go up there.